This is Columbus Concerns, a public affairs presentation of North American Broadcasting. Here's your host, Mark News.
And good morning, and thanks so much for joining us today on Columbus Concerns. It's been a rough couple of years, and this morning on Columbus Concerns, we're going to talk about mental health and mental well-being. And with us is Ann Hurst, who is the CEO of Open Arms Counseling. And Ann, thanks so much for taking some time and joining us this morning.
Well, thank you very much for having me here. It's a really important topic right now.
It certainly is. And like I said, we've all been very anxious the last couple of years. There's been a lot going on with COVID. Of course, sometimes deadly disease that's been going around, some political upheaval in the country, and everybody away, kids away from school, parents away from work, financial concerns. It's been a rough time for a lot of people. And with that goes some mental health issues. Tell us what you're seeing at Open Arms Counseling.
Well, we're seeing a definite rise in the need for mental health counseling, especially among children and couples. We're seeing a huge increase in couples counseling, and we are seeing a huge increase in children who need counseling, children who have anxiety, children with depression, and we're trying to meet those needs.
What have the kids lost by losing a lot of time at school last year?
Well, they've lost a lot of socialization. There are very important milestones that kids need to meet. And one of the most important milestones is socialization, especially at certain age groups. And that happens at many different times. Socialization is so important in elementary school. It's very important in junior high school. It's very important in high school. Socialization is so important for all of those milestones. And to isolate them from their friends during all of that period of time does have a huge consequence on their developmental growth.
And what about adults who have been away from a job or cooped up at home with their spouse, or what kinds of problems are you seeing there?
Well, we are seeing a lot of problems with adults who have been cooped up with their spouse. That's the increase in couples counseling. When you go to the altar and say that this is the person I want to spend the rest of my life with, it absolutely is the person you want to spend the rest of your life with. But you're not saying you want to spend every moment of every day of every second with.
Yeah.
And there's something to be said about having separate lives and coming back together. So it's very difficult when you are cooped together, and those little tiny things that irritate you on a daily basis, they become huge things that irritate you if you're spending every moment together.
Before we go any further, Open Arms Counseling, how does somebody get a hold of Open Arms Counseling?
They can either give us a call at 614-625-7183, or they can go to our website, which is openarmscounseling.com.
And we'll give the phone number and website address again before the program is over if you want to grab a pen to get that down. Ann Hurst is here, CEO of Open Arms Counseling. I guess where is there a tipping point if someone is feeling anxious? I think we all feel anxious or sad sometimes, but then there's a difference between that and depression, and there's a difference between that and the need for mental health counseling. What are some of the signs that you need help?
That's a really good question. We have all felt depressed. We've all felt sad. We've all felt, and there's sometimes a really good reason for that as well. There's a term in our profession that is called clinical significance. And that's the tipping point right there. Is it clinically significant? And when we say that, is it interfering with any part of your life? Is your depression interfering with your work? Is it interfering with your relationships with your children, with your spouse, with your friends? Is it isolating you? Is it starting to interfere with other aspects of your life? If it is, then it's becoming clinically significant. And that's when you should start to think about seeking help.
Are there enough resources here in Central Ohio for everyone who needs mental health care?
Oh, I'm always going to say no.
Okay.
I always think there should be more resources to that. But I do think that there are a lot of incredibly good resources, and there's always more starting to develop. In fact, I just saw an article that they're starting to new emergency hotline for suicide. And I am going to kick myself because I I do not remember the 3 digits, and I should remember that off the top of my head, but I don't. But it's going to be like 911, only it's just for suicidal thoughts. So if you're having suicidal thoughts, you can just dial this 3-digit number. So like I said, they're always coming up with a new resource. And so I love the fact that things always grow and change and develop.
Do you think that we seem to talk a lot more, especially during these difficult times, about mental health and mental health counseling? There's always been a stigma attached to that. You don't want to be known as someone who needed help. A lot of people pull myself up by my bootstraps mentality. Do you think that's changing at all?
I think it is changing. I think that it's still prevalent in a lot of different areas, a lot of different cultures. Different cultures see it different ways. But I do think that it is changing. A lot of people are seeing mental health as being something that is necessary. My father always told me that if you have a heart problem, you go to a cardiologist. If you have a problem with your emotions, you go to a specialist. It's just that.
It's one thing to seek help for yourself, but if you see a family member, one of your children, a spouse, a sibling, how do you talk to them about it, about getting help?
That's difficult because a lot of times when you approach the family member is going to be very combative because they don't want to admit it. Approaching them in a gentle way, approaching them and saying, hey, truth and love is what I always say. Telling them, this is what I'm seeing. And I care about you and I care about who you are. And I'm not coming to you with judgment. I'm not coming to you saying that I don't like what I'm seeing. I'm just saying I'm concerned. I care about you and I want to see you reach the fullest potential. And how can I help you?
And how often does it work?
Sometimes.
Sometimes.
It works sometimes. It definitely works sometimes.
Yeah.
And the more you try it, don't just stop after the first time because they are going to push you away probably 100 times before they actually do say, hey, I do need help.
Ann Hurst is here, CEO of Open Arms Counseling. Give us the phone number and website address again.
The phone number is 614-625-7183, and the website is openarmscounseling.com.
I saw an interview the other day with a member of Congress who lost his son to suicide, and he said the one regret that he has is that they never mentioned the word because his son had mental health issues, and he said, I wish we'd sat down and talked about suicide and mentioned and said the word, but we didn't. Is that a good idea?
Yes, absolutely. Talk about it. Anytime that you keep something secret, keep it away, it grows and becomes bigger and scarier. If you can get that out there, if you can talk about it and bring it out into the light, it loses its power. It becomes something that you're talking about. It becomes something that's no longer a big, scary thing, a huge thing. And you can take some of the power away from it. I think that it's great to talk about it and say, hey, what would that accomplish? I think it's really interesting. They did a study of a number of people who jumped off, and I forget what bridge it was, but it was a bridge known for suicidal people who were attempting suicide jumping off of.
Sure.
And a number of people survived. And they interviewed every single one of those people. And the one constant that all of them said was as soon as they jumped, they realized they didn't really want to die.
Yeah.
And so talking to them about suicide and about what it is that they're really trying to accomplish with the suicide, what is it, and talking through it, you may be able to help them find a different solution.
I know every individual is an individual. They're different, and you probably approach them all differently. But tell me a little bit about the process when somebody first comes to see you.
When somebody first comes to see me or anybody in our office, the first thing we do is bring them in and do kind of a background, ask why they're coming in, find out what their goals are, because it's very important to find out why they're coming in, what they want to accomplish, where they want to go. And then what the clinician does is finds out how to get to those goals. So they put together a treatment plan with the client or with you, with the person, to get to that goal. And part of putting that treatment plan together is finding out, what have you done in the past that's worked? What have you done in the past that hasn't worked? And working together, because whereas you're an expert on you, we have knowledge from school. If you put those two things together, you can make some magic happen. So if you work together as a team and figure that out, you can put together that treatment plan and put together a road to get to that goal, and then work together to reach it.
And I guess it's probably not an easy road or a quick road.
Sometimes yes, sometimes no. It just depends on the person. Like you said, every person is an individual. Every person is different. Sometimes the person just needs the right direction, or sometimes somebody's thinking, I think this is the right way to do it. I just need some sort of confirmation. And sometimes it's a lot harder road, and the answers are just not readily available, and it takes a little bit longer to find them.
I know, looking at your website, you were talking about the different types of counseling you have on there. They're individual counseling, but then you also talked about group counseling. What's that?
Group counseling is when you put together a group of people with the same or similar interests. Currently, we have a group going on. It's women's empowerment, where they're working with women who want to kind of tap in and feel stronger about themselves. And so they're coming together and we're doing activities together, working together to just kind of tap into their own inner selves and get stronger and feel stronger about themselves.
And I also know that you have someone in your group who specializes in people who are in the military or veterans as well. And I know the mental health issues for veterans, it's been something that we've been talking about a lot, and it's a major problem. And you have someone who can understand what they're going through.
We do have actually more than one person. We have one person that's in charge of the program, and then we have more than one counselor. We make sure that our counselors are veterans. We have several veterans on staff. And I do believe it's very important that if a veteran wants to talk to a veteran, that it be available to them, because no one understands someone who is in the military more than somebody who has been in the military. And I think that is just critical and crucial, that they have somebody to talk to that understands what they're saying and understands what they are going through and understands what they have gone through. And that's why it was very important to us to make sure that we staff people who have that experience.
Ann Hurst is here, CEO of Open Arms Counseling. And just a practical question, and I'm sure a lot of people have, because it's something they have to think about, is do most people's insurance help pay for counseling?
Yes, most people's insurance do help pay for counseling. We do not take all insurances. We take most insurances, and we try to take as many as we possibly can, and that's expanding all the time.
And that's something that's changed over the years, too, as far as the willingness of insurance plans to cover mental health issues.
Yes, it has. And I think that's amazing that it has expanded to mental health counseling. In fact, since COVID happened, it has expanded further. They've covered telehealth counseling. So if you are nervous about coming into the office or cannot come into the office, they are also, a lot of the insurances are also covering your telehealth counseling session, where you're staying at home, your counselor is in the office, and you're having a counseling session over a video chat.
Ann Hurst, CEO of Open Arms Counseling, is our guest. And again, the phone number and website address?
The phone number is 614-625-7183, and the website is openarmscounseling.com.
Do you see people who are, a lot of people who are dealing with loss or grief? Some people have a very difficult time getting over the loss of a loved one. I mean, it's difficult for everybody, but some people it's a life-changing instance.
It really is. And yes, we do see a number of people who are dealing with loss and grief. And loss and grief comes in many different forms. It can come in the loss of a loved one through death. It can come from the loss of a loved one through a difference of opinion and no longer speaking to them. And that's a huge loss as well, which we saw during the political issues. If family members had different political viewpoints, then they stopped speaking to each other. There was a huge loss and grief on that one. loss and grief is it feels like a part of you is missing. And yes, we see a lot of people coming in from that loss, and it takes a lot to get over that, coming to terms with there's something missing in your life.
I know another thing that you probably deal with quite a bit is anger management.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And that's been prevalent these days as well. There's the road rage, which is anger management. Yes. And there have been a lot of anger management at things that have been going on in the world. There's anger at people who do not want to wear masks. There's anger at people who do want to wear masks. There's anger on both sides of every question, of every topic, of everything. So yes, there's been just a lot of releasing of anger. And anger is just kind of anxiety and depression all put together, kind of turned inwards.
Yeah. I guess my question now would be, if you're feeling bad, feeling anxious, feeling disillusioned or whatever, what types of questions should you be asking yourself as far as, do I think I need help? What's going on in my life that makes me think that I need to talk to somebody?
Well, first off, has there been a huge change in your life? And is it helping or is it hurting? Is it something that's separating you from the people you love, from the things you love to do? Is it something that's cutting things out of your life that you normally would want to do? Is it keeping you from being who you want to be? If any of those answers are yes, then seek somebody to help, whether it be at Open Arms Counseling, another counseling agency, or somebody that you care about and know that would be able to help you. If the answer to that is no, and that you're growing and moving into a good direction and it's opening up new doors for you, then that's great change, and keep going in that direction. One of the greatest things you can do, though, if you're feeling anxious and feeling anger and feeling those feelings, go out and do something physical. Go to the gym. Find a way to positively get out some of that physical energy in a positive way. Get it out in a good way. Go to the gym, walk the dog. If you can't go to the gym, just do something physical, jump rope, play with the kids, throw the ball, do something to bring joy to the world, bring light into life. The more you fill somebody else's bucket with positive energy, the more positive energy you get into your bucket as well. It's a terminology I got from, it's a children's book, How Full Is Your Bucket? And it's a really great book. It talks to children about how if you fill somebody else's bucket with positive things, your bucket gets filled. But if you start being mean to other people, your bucket gets emptied as well.
Yeah. And that's very true.
Yes.
Pretty much for all ages.
Pretty much, yes.
Our guest on the program today, we're just about out of time, has been Ann Hurst, CEO of Open Arms Counseling. Where are you located? Where is Open Arms?
We're located at 580 South High Street, and it's just right on the edge of German Village. It's down the street from the courthouse, walking distance to Pistachio Vera, which makes me gain weight.
Yeah. Just saying it makes me gain weight.
Oh, I know.
But website address and phone number one more time, please.
The phone number is 614-625-7183, and the website is openarmscounseling.com. And
thanks so much for being here today. We really appreciate your time, and it's a very important topic, and good luck in the future.
Thank you so much.
Thanks for listening to Columbus Concerns, a public affairs presentation of North American Broadcasting. You can send questions or comments about today's show to Columbus Concerns in care of this station, 1458 Dublin Road, Columbus 43215. Or email us at columbusconcerns@napcomedia.com.